Hey, I'm Dan from Maptek, and today we're going to take a look at the addition of intrusive style implicit models within the Modeling Manager. So you may have noticed that we've changed up the ribbon a little bit since the previous release. That isn't just to make it harder to find things. On the previous release, the Modeling Manager could only do veins. Now with this release, we can also do intrusive style implicit models as part of the Modeling Manager. So if you've seen the other Modeling Manager video, you'll remember this output that we were able to get where we're using all the series of veins. So now with the Modeling Manager, I've made a copy of my original modeling group, and I'm going to create now an intrusive model and pick my dike. I'm going to shuffle that to the top because I want it to cut through everything else. And the edit options we have for this are similar to the vein modeler within the Modeling Manager, predefined based on the domain that we've said that we wanted to model. The CAD data in this scenario is read from the container for the Modeling Manager for the dike. So similar to the vein models, you've got the CAD container that's automatically created for you in the Modeling Manager CAD. And as part of that, you can also put ribbons in there, not just CAD data. Bit more options there. In terms of anisotropic control, I've got an ellipsoid I've made in this case that aligns nicely with the orientation that I want to model my dike. So I can use my middle mouse button off the view window to drop that into the panel. So it's going to use that. We might turn this off and use both those options. Now, if you want to use a different sort of bounding box or surface envelope, you can do that when you're doing an intrusive model within the Modeling Manager. So by default, it's going to use the bounding box for the modeling group. But if you want to constrain a particular intrusive to a smaller region, you can use a custom size bounding box or surface or closed solid as part of that. In this case, I might go with single threaded and a 20% overlap. Again, you can always overwrite the triangle size if you want. So let's model that and see what we get. So you're going to automatically get the sign distance points output. So for example, you can, if we toggle off our drill holes, you can always see what the sign distance points are and what they've been set as, the values of those. So you can see what's been positive and set as positive and negative. So with these intrusive style implicit models, a negative sign distance is inside, a positive sign distance is on the outside, and the zero is obviously on the surface boundary. So you can always take a look at what the implicit model is doing and why you might be getting the results you are. But we also get our solid. So again, if you've seen the implicit model video that I made, you may want to make some changes. You might want to put a ribbon in there. So I can always come to my CAD data. I can set that as my current layer. I can create a line going, say, from here to here. I'm going to select that object. I might use the subdivide edge tool, put a few more points on it. I might then convert that to a ribbon and check that the colored bit is on the outside and then it's facing the way that I want. I'm going to edit my ribbon and I'm going to use my middle mouse and just sort of rotate that a bit to get it in the orientation that I would like to say what's inside and outside. So I might just sort of make it a bit more vertical. And that's obviously going to be in there. So now we can bring the Modeling Manager back and I'm going to rerun my dike. You can see it starts sort of joining up those pieces a bit more. So if I really wanted, I could probably put another one in here to get it to carry all the way through, depending on how I'd like to model it. And then obviously the last thing that we'd want to do is I'm going to rerun everything so that I get a nice geology model with the dike cutting through everything. So now that it's done, we can get rid of these. I'm going to then look at my geology model and we can load that. And let's just remove my ellipsoid and my ribbon. So we've got our dike model running through the middle, and if I hide that, anywhere that it crosses through, you can see it's cut out the other triangulations. So that's the new intrusive model option within the Modeling Manager.